See, they come loaded for bear, and I shot the bear yesterday, so there's no point in... But see, I'm open to any of the move, but I think the history and logic of science, history and logic of ideas, is how to locate the problem and get why. See, like, this is an example. Classical Greek physics believed in the atom, but they had no complexity value of the atom. We have to come to the 19th, 20th century to find out Adam has 3 or 4. I know Adam and Eve, and you know those atoms. 3 or 4 atoms in an atom. But you don't find that out by what? Looking. So science is a great deal more than looking. Because anybody can look that can see.
Yeah, we can't see the subatomic particles with our eyes, but 50,000 people disappeared in a flash in Hiroshima over it. So that must correspond to reality.
I didn't see that, so I have no problem denying it. It's Hume.
That would be the postmodern.
Oh yes, but Hume, his fallacy was thinking that science was empiricism. He was trying to take empiricism, and I deny empiricism says all knowledge has its origin and justification in experience. But it has to be experienced right this minute. I can't experience history. I can't experience the future. I can only experience, in existential parlance, the despair of the moment.
So how do you even contextualize the experience?
There's no possible way. You've already cut the fallacy. See, I think the fallacy is taking the issue of the logic of science. Science is empirical, but not empiricism. And that raises the problem of what is the relationship of mathematics to scientific investigation. So macro and micro requires mathematical statements. Well, no one's ever seen a negative integer to the 29th power that I know of. But they operate with them. And when I used to solve those negative integers, I could solve those a long way. But I never saw any. And didn't know anybody that did. So I went, just because I was especially dumb. Not especially. Most people specialize in ignorance, and they don't have to go to school to come that way. See? They get that way before they come.
I could put that on my resume.
No, and I have 40 pages of dumbness here. Said, oh, that's what we major in here. Well, did you have this up because it's time? Yes, sir. Thank you.
Forgive me, because I think I might end up taking just about this whole course and everything and flipping it upside down.
Uh-huh.
But if I take every single bit of this knowledge and I apply it to my mind, to my heart and everything, and I go to somebody whose heart is completely hard and will not take a word of it, my total foundation is now completely illegitimate.
Well, I would try to grapple with the foundation of their position.
But I'm continuing with this.
Oh, yeah.
If we go to someone in their heart's heart, there's not a thing we can do.
I'm not a Calvinist. I believe that that's true of some people. Yes, I think I've seen people do that.
But I still believe that definitely there's still a need in every single person that's created for love. And so going along with that is because I hear a lot of questions, and I don't know, this is the way I'm taking it and taking it good. It's because every single word, through this and all this can be completely thrown out the window with someone.
Oh, no question. The postmodern mind would dismiss it immediately. No question about that.
And I believe the most effective way is making your foundation completely in love.
Well, when you do that, then you knocked out the whole historical foundation of the discussion. See, Jesus did not make the foundation of the communication agape. God so loved the world, he agaped the universe. And he was in discourse, in debate with people.
He didn't just love them.
He didn't just love them. See, loving them doesn't mean that there's any empathic alteration in the relation. Well, loving them, don't want to not love people, don't hate them, but loving them is not, it may be a criteria to get across, to get an audience. But sometime we're going to have to discuss those things.
And take those things and discuss them to a heart that is now soft.
Now, And loving them, they just get brittle if you just try to win argument. I'm not talking about that at all. But mere love, this is what classical liberalism said, there's no content to the discussion. It's loving people. If we just love more people, well, then everybody would be in. Well, everybody's not in. You love them and they beat you to death.
You have to learn how to shoot.
No question, you're correct. See, it's not a matter of not being concerned about love, but that is only a bridge into discussion, to be concerned about them. See, if we're not concerned about them, then they will not listen at all.
But I think true love, and I think the world in post-modern age has taken love and made it into something completely different than what agape and Jesus has meant for it to be.
Well, no question. What does the postmodern world do with agape love, selfless love? Our culture is hardly selfless.
Yeah.
See, there's nothing commonsensic or ordinary about selfless love, because love in the street talk is always wanting something back.
It's erotic.
Narcissistic.
We mean making love, not loving. But you said agape. See, the Greeks, that's why they had 4 words for love. Philo was just friendship. We like people. That's not, I could live without them or with them.
I love ice cream.
And I'm crazy about this ice cream, but I haven't seen any today. And then they had philo and agape. And agape, you see, they couldn't give an example of selfless love till Jesus came. But they did talk about love. See, phenomenologically, why does the Greek language have 4 words for love and we've got 1? Because we lump all those things together. Then eros, I didn't mention that eros, erotic.
Parent-child is the 4th one.
And the relationship, see, four loves. Lewis did that, and the Greeks did that. But agape is not a natural phenomenon. You're correct. I'm not talking about love. If we're not selfless, that means we always want something back. Well, that will also destroy the relationship. But loving people doesn't mean that they're going to do what? Have you ever No, that's not fair.
That they're going to turn to Christ.
That wouldn't keep me loving, but that doesn't say that my love. But that merely tells you about how I respond to them, not how they respond to God.
But the only hope that we have ever in getting somebody to respond to that is by the love that we show them.
That might be the case. Might be the case.
I believe it's very true.
Well, most people, that is not the case. Most people. Now, they want agape. They want us to be selfless, but what? The problem...
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that if you just take somebody and love them to death, that eventually they're going to come to Christ.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I'm saying when you find out true love, if you go up to somebody and they say, I don't care for it, I don't do the word for it, then truly loving them, doing the best thing for them at that time would be simply, okay, I respect that. And people don't recognize that as true love. Because if their heart is hard toward you, there's nothing in the world that can happen.
No, I believe.
And their heart may be soft to somebody else that eventually it will get to.
And it might. It's not, but it's not a panacea. I mean, that everybody's going to come into the kingdom because of their love. See, if the church would have had everybody in it long before now, if that would be the case. But that is true. I mean, it's not a matter of putting down the love emphasis, but agape is not a natural phenomenon. Selflessness, egocentricity is the essence of humanity.
Fallen nature.
When you think about Jesus saying, calling somebody snakes, he called them...
That's not nice.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like love, but maybe that was the most loving thing he could say to try to break through.
You also don't love them by lying to them. And I don't mean by lying is not necessary. I don't believe a doctor lies not telling us everything he knows.
Well, Jesus didn't run after the rich young ruler.
Oh no, we got all kinds of examples, but agape is selfless, and we are not naturally selfless.
And that's good insight, though.
I mean, there's no question about that. But see, love is a bridge to someone's life. No question about that. But once the bridge is up, we're going to have to engage that life, or not. And then if not, I think again, this is the model. Jesus didn't what? And most people didn't do what with Jesus? Most people didn't accept him. It wasn't because he didn't love them, but they're not saved because he loved them.
I mean, there are there are contexts where it would seem that, I mean, I know there's a lot more going on, but like in the day of Pentecost, for instance, you know, the people that responded to Peter's message, I don't know if, I mean, maybe you can say they were a prepared audience, but they didn't seem, I don't know if they could, I mean, I don't know if their feeling of Peter's love for them would have, you know, impacted them, because it just wasn't that kind of a scenario. Whereas maybe somebody, like you say, you're talking to that you encounter on a one-to-one basis, if they think that you're just, you know, a horse is behind, and you're just trying to be belligerent with your, you know, Christian truth, quote unquote, then they're going to tell you, you know, where to put it. But if they can see that you are, I guess, you know, authentically godly and loving person, and that you don't have a selfish motivation, you're not trying to do self-aggrandizement by converting them, that you really, that's going to move them at least in some existential, maybe non-rational way, because we're more than just cognitive, I guess.
Now, this is not false, but when we talk about agape, now it's very important. We're not human beings just privately.
We're public as well.
We're public. And that means relational in long before. Community without consensus. You don't have any community that stays alive very long without consensus.